What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Thanksgiving betting extravaganza right here on Forward Progress, presented by FanDuel. We are part of the Hammer Betting Network. I'm Rob Pizzola. I'll be with you for roughly the next 90 minutes as we break down the 3 Thanksgiving Day games plus the Black Friday game. The latter half of the show will be props focused. We're going to bring people in one by one. If you've tuned in to our Thanksgiving betting extravaganzas in the past before, you know how it works. Somebody comes in, they give their favorite prop. We talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. They move on. They get out of here. That's kind of the format. To start, though, I'm going to bring in 2 very good people, not like the scumbags that are joining us later on in the show. G-Stack George, Austin Mock from The Athletic. We're going to break it down, sides and totals. Boys, how's it going?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Doing good.
Yeah, Austin, this is actually your Thanksgiving. Myself and George have had it already as the Canadian Thanksgiving. We're talking a little bit off air. I don't want to turn this into like debates about Thanksgiving and stuff, but I like having the October Thanksgiving because it spaces it out from Christmas a little bit more. You guys just got like that 1 month gap. You're going to have turkey leftovers for a week, and then you're going to get to Christmas and you're going to do the same thing. Like I like the spacing of the Canadian one a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. It gets a little, I come from a family that does turkey for both as well. So it's like, I know a lot of people kind of switch it up. I'm not fortunate enough to have that. So it does get a little redundant because turkey's a little, it's not elite in the meat category.
Yeah, there's better birds out there and there's better meats for sure. But I'm not going to have the turkey rant again. We're just going to talk some football here. Before we do, if you're in the chat, you're more than welcome to chat throughout the entirety of the show. We actually encourage the chats throughout the entirety of the show. If you're watching on X, you can hop over to YouTube if you want. You can chat with the rest of the people or not. Just watch on X. But if you're here on YouTube right now, smash that like button. It goes a long way to helping us get found. And all the comments, are great as well. Guys, let's kick it off with our first game on the slate tomorrow, which is the Detroit Lions hosting the Green Bay Packers. Now, this one's kind of gone back and forth in market. All the early money on Green Bay. And now some sportsbooks have moved back out to a 3. FanDuel kind of at that expensive 2.5 price. Total's been bet down a little bit as well. Lots of injury news to parse in this particular game. For the Packers on defense, plenty of players are questionable, both in their secondary and their linebacking core. Quay Walker, Nate Hobbs, Keyshawn Nixon, all these guys practice in a limited capacity this week, so we'll see how that's going to work out. Lucas Van Ness is out again. He's been dealing with that foot injury for a while. Jaden Reed not ready to return at wide receiver. Matthew Golden up in the air. For Detroit, Brock Wright out at tight end. Their backup tight end to Sam Laporta. Graham Glasgow, their center, is out. Maybe Marcus Davenport back on the defensive line, but Josh Pascal is going to have to wait another week. He is not ready yet. Kirby Joseph out again. Terry and Arnold dealing with the concussion. So there's a lot of moving parts in this game, George. I'm going to start here with you. What are you making between the Lions and the Packers?
So it's easy for us to want to go back to that first game where the Packers did an amazing job shutting down the run. Edgerrin Cooper's making tackles in space. The thing with the Lions is they're a completely different offense when they have their run game going and when they don't. It takes a lot of onus off Jared Goff, gets him out of third and long, obvious passing situations. If I'm the Packers here, I know they don't blitz much. They blitz the second fewest amount in the league, but I'm doing stunts and some sort of blitz up the middle because there's no greater gap on any single offensive line between how good their tackles are versus how the interior O-line is. And you obviously mentioned Graham Glasgow's out, and they're bringing poor Frank Ragnow out of retirement for this game. I think the Lions might have some success, though. I think the Packers, right now, they're 12th in defensive rush EPA, 17th in defensive rush DVOA. When you start to factor in the schedule they've played, they're obviously missing Lucas Van Ness and Carl Brooks. So for me, Detroit's going to want to run often. But if you get them in third and long and Jared Goff's missing, like Brock Wright, Sam Laporta, Khalif Raymond, a lot of his like quick outlet stuff, I think the Packers would be wise to play press and blitz a little bit more. On the other side of the ball, the Packers, despite all their warts, are like still incredibly number 1 in drop back EPA. I don't understand it. It doesn't feel like that, but I'm not going to argue with what the numbers say. People love to hate Jordan Love, but the one thing that he's not doing this year, he hasn't turned the ball over. They play a defense that is like middle of the pack in defensive drop back EPA, but with Kirby Joseph out for a while now, and then some of the injuries in the secondary. I know DJ Reed returned last week. They are still susceptible to big shots, which the Giants showed us. And I think Green Bay might find some success hitting some big plays in the past game.
G-Stack making an argument for Green Bay. Really shocking turn of events there, G-Stack. Seems like you've been a Packers guy all year. I'm just busting balls. Austin, I'll go to you in a second here. For Detroit, I think myself included, but a lot of average fans, when we think of the Lions, a lot of it is rooted in what they've done in previous years, which actually doesn't match their numbers from this year. Like when you look at this year, in terms of generating open receivers, they're bottom 10 in creating open throws, 26th in the league. Green Bay's defense, top 5 at limiting open windows, 2nd in the league. So in the past, they're scheming guys open. This year, they just haven't really been able to do that. And Green Bay's been actually very good at limiting that. On the other side of the ball, we look at Detroit. Secondary's been beat up for the large majority of the year. They've been the best defense in the league at limiting separation. Number 1 in open coverage rate allowed. They keep receivers covered as well as anyone. Green Bay's offense, bottom 10 in generating open throws, and that's continuously gone downhill as the year has gone on. So when I look at this game, in years past, Detroit, Green Bay, inside that dome, I'm like, this is a track meet. This year, I'm actually thinking the exact opposite. I just don't like the Lions' offense altogether. Same thing with the Packers. I personally think that this total is slightly too high, even though it's been bet down a little bit. So I'm not going to make the case for the Packers. I'll make a little case for the under here, Austin. But curious what you're thinking on this game.
Yeah, I would lean that way as well. I think directionally I lean both of your guys' way, like a tiny bit if I had to pick one side. But the interesting matchup here is the passing game for Detroit just hasn't quite been there. And I think, Rob, to your point about the separation scores and they're not scheming guys open. But when they're in that dome and they can get that run game going, which it has been, Gibbs has been great the last few weeks, especially the explosives have been there as well. That, like, I always think to myself, like, okay, hey, I mean, I said this last week against the Giants. If you're going to be able to run the ball, if you tell me that the Lions are going to be able to run the ball, I feel very confident that Goff is going to be able to find guys open downfield. And I still think they have a path there, but it is one of those things where, like, if you're going to slow down Goff, you don't need the blitz. You generate pressure, which is what the Packers do so well. And if the Packers can slow down the run game and not give up those explosives, I do think that there's a path that, we see that the Lions offense isn't quite hitting to what we expected and what we're used to seeing at home when they're playing in that dome. So a little bit, I think I like the under a little bit more than the Packers side here, because I have questions about their offense, definitely since Tucker Kraft has gone down. But yeah, I think I directionally lean with both of you guys there on Green Bay and the under here.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look here at the season-long numbers using some stats from FTN Fantasy. I think what really jumps off the page to me is the EPA per rush attempt for the Lions relative to where it was in past years, just sitting at 14th right now. I think it's been a product of a worse offensive line and the explosive run rate for that team as well. You would never really expect them to be in the bottom half of the league. Green Bay kind of living off of some early season numbers as well. George mentioned it in terms of EPA per dropback, their numbers being really, really good. But that's kind of fallen off a cliff as the year goes on. So pretty interesting matchup here. Of course, we do leverage a lot of FTN's numbers when we do this show. If you do want to get a discount for Thanksgiving, head over to ftnfantasy.com. Users with an account can use code TURKEY. It's that simple to remember, to get 25% off of the GOAT package, or you can use code GRAVY for 20% off of Stats Pro at checkout. Turkey for the GOAT package, Gravy for the Stats Pro package. It's that simple. I've been an FDN subscriber for quite a long time now, and they're pretty integral in my process on a weekly basis in terms of digging into coverages, schemes, pressure rates, all that stuff. So if you're interested, you got some Thanksgiving Day discounts. And of course, if you haven't already, smash that like button as we're going to move on to our next game. It's between the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Taking a look at the market for this game, sitting in like an in-between 3 and 3.5 across most books right now. Best prices I can see in market on Kansas City are KC -3, -115. Best prices on Dallas are in the 3.5 minus 115 range as well. Total in the game sitting at 52.5 at FanDuel. On the Cowboys side of things, they lose their left tackle, Tyler Guyton. Still young, arguably one of the worst left tackles in the league, but he's out this week with an ankle injury. They're waiting to see if Kalen Carson will play. Limited practices this week. One of their corners, he's questionable. For the Kansas City Chiefs, Noah Gray out with a concussion. More importantly, though, the right guard Trey Smith out on the interior with an ankle injury. They're also missing Christian Roland Wallace, who will kind of like a Swiss Army knife for them, a little bit of a utility guy, play some safety, some slot corner. They can move him around all over the field. I like him as a player, Austin. This one's tough for me. Obviously, we've seen the Cowboys defense steadily improve in the past couple of weeks. You got to wonder about quality of opponent, though, because this is now the Chiefs offense, Austin. I don't know what you're making of this game.
Yeah, I keep kind of going back and forth because I think there's paths on both sides that I have questions about, or I think that they're paths to success. So you mentioned the Trey Smith injury. Quinton Williams has, again, the Raiders offensive line, not great. Even the Eagles offensive line has been a little bit of, I'd say, disappointing to what we would have expected coming into the year. But that's a matchup that I think that's kind of the key here is like, can Quinton Williams, I'm pretty confident they'll be able to stop the run. Kansas City's not a great running team. Can he disrupt things, when Mahomes is dropping back to pass? And then on the flip side of that, the Cowboys play a ton of zone, and Mahomes has been great against the zone this year. Man coverage is why the Chiefs, that offense hasn't been able to really hit its stride, for long periods of time this year. So I kind of see both sides there. Part of me is like, I go to the trenches, and if you tell me like Quinton Williams is going to game wreck, like he game wrecked the Eagles game last week. If the interior of the Chiefs offensive line with Smith being out is not able to keep him at bay, like, does that speed up his Mahomes' process? Does that take away the kind of the zone like efficiency where they are able to, Kelsey's able to settle into a zone and Mahomes is able to maybe have a little bit more time to find that open zone against the defense. So that's kind of the cat and mouse thing here is like, will that impact the efficiency of the zone success for the Chiefs in this one? So that's kind of the Quinton Williams. I know it's not, anything groundbreaking here, but that's kind of the matchup here is, are we still underrating Dallas's defense? Is Quinton Williams that important to them? Because they have been able to generate pressure all year, but now if you have a game record in the middle, I think that can kind of change things for Dallas. So that's the matchup I'm watching. Can Quinton Williams make Mahomes uncomfortable?
Yeah, for me, it's obviously Quinton Williams is a great player, but it's more than him. It's the fact that they were so decimated at one point in the year. I mean, they were missing their top three safeties. Cornerback room was in shambles. They got Overshown back from the PUP list with the ACL injury as well, which is massive for them. And I wonder if they played so much zone at the beginning of the year just because of the fact that they were so beat up in the secondary. I was actually floored last week watching the first couple, the first half of Eagles Cowboys with Jalen Hurts, a guy who notoriously struggles against zone, at least this year. And the Cowboys are lining up playing a ton of man and they're getting beat downfield. And I wonder if they're going to play more man moving forwards. George, you seem to be nodding your head like you might agree.
Yeah, it almost feels like they want to be more diverse in their secondary. I don't want to get away from what I do think is a big key is Quinton Williams against no Trey Smith. We often talk about like the impact of him as a player by himself in isolation, but there's also like the tertiary effects. All of a sudden, Osa Odigizua looks like he's worth the contract that they gave him in the offseason. The second round pick, edge rusher Donovan Ezeraku, who's been fantastic. Dante Fowler and Jadeveon Clowney all of a sudden as like a rotational edge have found life. The thing that I worry about for Dallas's defense is I don't think they have anybody to stop Rashee Rice, who is very good at finding the holes in the zone. And frankly, I don't trust Dallas covering slot receivers. So I think that could be an opportunity for Kansas City. But the Quinton Williams stuff might change a lot of like the third and short, fourth and short goal line situation, some of the high leverage stuff. On the other side of the ball, I remember giving out Dallas as like my triple hammer last week. And someone said, I don't know, Quinyon Mitchell on George Pickens. I don't know that he's going to do anything. George Pickens is fucking killing everybody right now. The more interesting thing that I can't wait to see is how the KC corners line up on Pickens and Lamb, because the way they're both playing right now,
Yeah.
it's very hard to stop a team with like two legitimate, maybe top 5 or 6 receivers in football. I'm very, very interested. The other one is, can Dallas avoid the turnovers? Dallas gives the ball away the 10th most in the league, and that's oftentimes it's the one bad Dak play, and you're like, really? We killed the drive. KC has not created turnovers this year, 4th fewest turnovers generated. If Dallas can avoid those mistakes, I think there's opportunities to move the ball here.
I can't add much more to this game. There's a couple things, though, I did want to touch on. Zach Smith in the chat, great comment. Caliendo is more than serviceable as a backup right guard for KC. He has played a bunch of guard so far this year. I would say obviously still a downgrade. Definitely has had a decent season, but not the best in pass protection. Much better as a run blocker. And I don't know that that's going to really move the needle against the defensive front for the Cowboys. So I just push back like slightly on that. My biggest concern, I was actually talking to someone else about this morning, another very, very good bettor. I'm not a trends guy unless you can apply some sort of logic to a trend. And there is some historical precedent for head coaches having like their first Thursday game. It's a very limited amount of time to game plan. And a lot of these first-time coaches struggle in these types of positions. You have a very experienced coach in Andy Reid and a very inexperienced one in Brian Schottenheimer, both putting together game plans on a short week. It's kind of been an angle for a little bit. I think that can matter in the game. Directionally, I still do lean towards the Cowboys. I just don't think that there's enough here at the current market price to personally warrant a bet in this game. We're going to finish things off on the Thursday slate with the Bengals and Ravens in the night game. G-Stack George will be live right here on Forward Progress for that one as a live watch along. If you haven't tuned in to those, they're really fun. So set notifications. Might be a great way to spend your Thanksgiving night. On the Ravens side, not too much to be worried about. Lamar Jackson is cleared. Rashad Bateman is back into the lineup for them. Outside of Taven Bryan on the defensive line, which is, in my opinion, is not a huge loss. They're still pretty healthy. Cincinnati, obviously the big news. Joe Burrow will be back for this game. Jamar Chase will be back for this game off of the suspension. T. Higgins out with a concussion. Trey Hendrickson still out on the defensive line. They lose another corner in Marco Wilson, who's not very good, but just another corner who goes on IR for them. I talked about it earlier this week, guys. The Ravens don't look right. They haven't really since Lamar has come back from injury. He's clearly hampered by something. He's not running the ball as much, Austin. But this defense is quite bad. And you could say they played well against the Patriots last week, and they did. But I look at the personnel, and I see matchup advantages all over the field for the Ravens, especially a Ravens team that lines up with 2 tight ends quite often against a Bengals team that has been deplorable at defending tight ends so far this year. To me, this looks like a good spot for the Ravens to get on track. Current market is flat 7. Total in the game is at sitting around 51.5 at most spots. Austin, curious your thoughts here.
Yeah, I've said it the last few weeks when we've been breaking down Ravens games that Lamar's not rushing. He's not scrambling as much. The big thing is like he's not getting those first downs to keep that efficiency going. And I think there's definitely still some worry there. But, you know, when you factor in, one, the defense they're facing and how bad the Bengals are, like I'm not going to take one game sample over, you know, how many years now has it been that this unit is horrible. So I'm not going to give them, you know, a huge amount of credit there. So yeah, I do think they're going to be able, I think this could be one where they find a way to run the ball. There could be a little bit of a, like, this is a game where maybe Lamar has to push himself a little bit more because they know like the things have been going, we're into like what, a month of him being back. So I could see maybe we're getting there. We're closer to him being to full health. But then on the flip side, Joe Burrow, I don't know, like, is there certainty that he's going to come back at 100%? Is there any rust there? Is there any injury concern with him? So I would lean Baltimore. I don't know if I'm going to go with the full 7 just because the Ravens offense just hasn't quite, it's been a whole year. Even like when Lamar was healthy, they struggled. They did struggle to run the ball a little bit, but I just don't know if this defense has the horses anywhere, like any level of the defense to slow them down enough. And again, there's uncertainty with Burrow. I don't think we're just walking back in like, hey, this is going to be a top 5 offense week 1. on a short week too. Like, I don't know if that matters. Like, he doesn't get as many practices in as well. I know he practiced last week too, but yeah, I lean Baltimore here. I cannot back. I think we're just overrating the Bengals just because Burrow's back. Like, this defense is not going to just magically be good. So lean Ravens.
Yeah, first game back, well ahead of schedule as well. And I'm pretty sure, despite other people reporting that the Bengals kept Burrow out last week so they could get more viewership on Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure he was just still injured. I mean, he was on a 3-month timeline and it was 2 months. That's just my personal opinion. Cottage in the chat says, I need G-Stack to push me to Burrow. Don't let me down, G-Stack. And G-Stack is shaking his head like that's not going to happen.
If you're on Joe Burrow, my friend, you are getting pushed off a cliff. We talk about like the Ravens offense hasn't been good. I want to put a caveat because I agree with you all, but you know, they play the Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, and Jets, who are significantly better defenses. Cincinnati's the worst defense in football. There's nothing that they do well. They don't generate a pass rush. They cannot stop the run. You alluded to the fact that they're bad against tight ends. Rob, no one gets beat by tight ends more than the Bengals. They're giving up 87 yards a game to tight ends. The next closest team is giving up 72 yards. Mm-hmm. They give up 1.2 touchdowns a game to tight ends. The next defense closest to is half of that. They cannot stop the tight ends. They tackle poorly. Their linebackers can't cover. I also think there's a clear delineation of like what the Ravens defense is. If you take the first like pre-Houston Texans game where it all culminated with everybody out, they were 30th in defensive EPA, 29th in defensive success rate. Since that point, and I know there's caveats, quality of opponent, but since then, 3rd in defensive EPA and 4th in defensive success rate. I don't know how good their defense is, but I think they're closer to a top 12 defense than a bottom 12 defense. Yeah. That's my leaning. This feels like the game, like you want to get right, you play the Bengals. Your offense, we might see the run game going. The pass game, the tight ends are gonna cook. On the other side of the ball, I think we overrate quarterbacks returning off a long layoff, and like we almost want to value them at the same value they were pre-injury. And I think there is a ramp-up period, especially quarterbacks that throw in stride and everything is a timing thing for them. On the other thing is, though, they do have a good run game. It blows me away every week that Chase Brown is literally like they're 2nd in rush EPA and 3rd in rush success rate. Yeah. That being said, I think that might be a weak point on the Ravens defense, but it's very hard for me to find scenarios in which Cincinnati keeps up with Baltimore in this game.
Yeah, you can find little things here and there, but the more and more I break it down, like Baltimore is a team that runs a lot of outside zone more than most teams in the league. You look at Cincinnati's defense against outside zone runs, you actually wouldn't even believe how bad the numbers are. Like they're 2 yards per carry worse than the average team in defending those runs. That's like the clearest run concept mismatch on the entire board in the NFL this week. I think we're kind of seeing this one the same way. Yeah, I'll pay for Joe Burrow to beat me in this spot. In the chat, I mean, we've called G-Stack. We've gotten away from G-String, which we did call him for one period of time. But just the 3-wood says new nickname, the G-Spot. Not bad.
What is the G-Spot? I've never heard of this thing.
I can't say I've experienced it. I think it's fictional, honestly.
It's foreign to us.
Yeah.
You've never been?
Never been. Never heard of it before. I can't confirm.
Urban legend.
Can't confirm that it's real. All right. Before we move on to Black Friday here, it's Thanksgiving Day tomorrow, and FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. I actually like innovative ideas like this. This is simple. It works really, really simple. You start a group build, you add your pick, and then you pass it to your friends so that they can add theirs. And when everyone's done, you each lock in the group parlay with your own funds, because football is better when it's played and bet together, especially if you're looking for just some sort of fun type of bet. I've done this with my friends before, and now FanDuel has facilitated it directly within their app. And to make it even better, everyone gets a 50% profit boost to use on their build as well. So grab your crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. Visit FanDuel.com/forward-progress to get started. FanDuel, play your game. You must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. Terms are at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, guys, we also got a Black Friday game scheduled for 3 p.m. Eastern time this week. The Eagles, a flat 7 across the board right now, hosting the Chicago Bears. Total's been bet down to 44 in most spots. FanDuel still holding at 44.5, juiced towards the under. Notable here for the Philadelphia Eagles, Devontae Smith has not practiced for 2 straight days. He got added, another injury designation added today, because he was listed as a shoulder and chest injury and now also an illness. So that could probably be contributing to him not practicing, but one to keep an eye on. Lane Johnson still not practicing with the foot injury as well. They lose Andrew Makuba on the back end with an ankle injury. He'll be out this week. For Chicago, it's good news, bad news. The bad news, they have no linebackers, and it continuously is getting worse for them on a weekly basis. The good news, in the secondary, even though Tyreek Stevenson left last week's game with a hip injury, there is a decent chance Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson will be activated for this game, both full practices on the last 2 days. So a little bit of positive news there, George, for the Bears. This one's a really, really tough one for me, because I kind of don't love either of these teams relative to market prices right now. But now that we've hit the 7, I'm starting to like consider the Bears just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm very likely going to be on the Bears. They're down to their 5th and 6th linebackers this week. I think CJ Gardner-Johnson, who's a thumper, is going to have to play undersized linebacker, kind of like a hybrid nickel dime look, where he's like the second backer. Clear edges for me. I think you can run on this Chicago team. 24th in defensive rush EPA, 29th in defensive rush success rate. And the Eagles have like a propensity to attack teams where they're weak. The Bears give up the 4th most catches to tight end. So AJ Brown owners, I know Devontae Smith might be out, but cover your ears. We might be getting a heavy dose of Saquon and Dallas Goedert. It feels like this is going to be a slow plodding game. On the other side of the ball, the Bears got a lot of flack for spending, money and assets on their interior O-line. They signed Drew Dahlman to a free contract. They trade for Jonah Jackson and Joe Thuney at guard. Mm-hmm. Dahlman's the 3rd best center this year, according to PFF. Thuney and Jackson are 10th and 12th best guards out of 81 qualifying players. They're 5th in rush success rate, and they go against a defense that's bottom 8 right now in defensive rush success rate. The key for me, though, is when Caleb drops back and looks for a deep play, and Philly's D-line, which has been fantastic since Jalen Phillips has arrived, if he can avoid the sack long enough to take a couple deep shots against a secondary that might be without a few of their safeties, there might be some opportunities for an explosive or two. But man, everything about this game just feels slow, and I don't see a lot of methodical drives on offense. So we could see a lot of punts in this one.
Yeah, what slightly concerns me was I originally had a lean towards the under, and the Eagles haven't really gotten the running game going for the majority of the year. Saquon's kind of been a shell of his former self. The O-line hasn't held up as well in the run blocking game. This does feel like a game where maybe it just works out for them when you look at all the injuries on the defensive front for the Bears. I could see myself, though, watching this game, and if the Eagles struggle to establish the run early, I think the Bears are going to be very live here, Austin.
Yeah, I have some under in this one. I think that's a good way to get involved here, just because Caleb, the problem that I have with Caleb is like he's not enough in structure for me to enjoy him. And like, I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people make him out to be, but like It's the annoying things that hurts me a little bit. So I think when you look at the blitzing ability, the Eagles don't need to blitz, and he is not been great this year when he's facing just 4 rushers, and that's the concern for me from the Bears side. Like, are they going to be able enough? We saw what they did against the Vikings 2 weeks ago, like when they're facing another quality defense. So I do wonder about like kind of the ceiling here of the passing offense in Caleb. Obviously, there could be a run advantage for Chicago as well, but on the other side of the ball, definitely without Lane Johnson, I don't know. Like, the Bears can't stop the run, but like I don't know if the Eagles will be able to take advantage of that. I don't know if they need to run Jalen Hurts more, but something is not working there. So I just see this as both teams here, just not like a clear path to success, just because we have to see the Eagles do something that they really haven't been able to do all year. And I'm just not a big believer in the matchup here for the Bears, though I think Colston Loveland has helped out Caleb Williams a little bit the last few weeks. So I lean a little bit towards the under here. I like it at the current market prices. So that's my feel in this game, which I guess if you're going to tell me it's an under, I would agree that the Bears probably are more live than if it would be an over, but I don't like both offenses in this game. So no points, please.
Yeah, I think with the Bears, I mean, we can all probably clearly agree that this team is nowhere near as good as their record would indicate, but I think that they're very well coached. I believe in Ben Johnson. I mean, he's getting a lot out of this team. The points on Caleb are very valid, and that is what concerns me most about going up against this defense. Is they are very skilled, they're opportunistic, they can force you into mistakes. Caleb has like a very wide range of outcomes. Looks great on some plays, and then he just makes a boneheaded mistake, and that could always hurt you in this spot. But Eagles to win by margin just does not seem like a fun proposition in market right now. Before I let you guys go and we move on to the prop sections of the show, let's just put ourselves on the spot here, give out our favorite plays. Our top play, let's say, for Thursday or Friday. Austin, I'll start with you. Of anything on the board, side or total, what would you think is the best look in the next 2 days?
Yeah, so wish I could almost went with Chicago, Philly under there, but I am actually going to go with the Cowboys plus 3.5, minus 122 at FanDuel. It's a little juicy, but I think when George brought it up, the 2 wide receivers for the Cowboys, I think are kind of what pushed me over the edge. You know, Quinn Williams gets all the talk because he's the recent addition, but like CeeDee Lamb's had some drops the last few weeks that have really could hurt the offense, and there's still I still have a ton of faith in this offense. So when him and Pickens are open in making the catches that they are, I think that kind of opens up, and I think that's enough for me with the 3.5. Even though it's a little pricey, I like the Cowboys here to stay within a field goal against the Chiefs here.
Never mind, stay within a field goal. Let's win the damn game for the Cowboys. Let's win it. G-Stack, to you.
Very clear. I think Baltimore has a lot of advantages in this game. I think Cincinnati's being overpriced right now based on Burrow, an assumption that he's back to health, and forgetting the fact that he's missing T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson as well. Give me Baltimore -7, minus 110, my favorite bet of the day.
All right. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I hate letting G-Stack ever have an opportunity to get an upper hand on me, right? There's no chance I'm going to let G-Stack say, I went 1-0 on Thanksgiving, Rob, and you went 0-1. So I'm going to go with the exact same play here. I'm going to take the Ravens -7, minus 110. Now, candidly, where the limits are really high on these games, there's not a huge edge to be found, but my numbers versus current market numbers, this is what I think is the best spot. And of course, you could have had 6.5 at some point or another, but I echo a lot of the points that George made here. And this seems to me like a matchup where the Ravens can really get it going on the ground. You might want to you point to the Jets last week as a struggle for the Ravens. It's kind of been that way. Jets have a sneaky good defense. They don't force turnovers, and that's why their EPA is so low. But on a down-to-down basis, they're very good. The Bengals they are not that. Ravens -7, minus 110. I'll let you guys get out of here. George, enjoy the games. I'll see you in office on Friday for our Black Friday watch along. Austin, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Enjoy it, my man.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care, guys.
G-Stack, George Tsilfidis, and Austin Mock from The Athletic. All right, we're moving into the props portion of the show. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, smash that like button. Please do so. If you're watching on X, we do this on YouTube as well. There's a live chat going on. You can always get in on the live chat. Now, our first guest, he really needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyways. He is known as the scumbag around here, but really, he's a good guy. Part of the team at Hit the Books on YouTube, covers college football, can't ever get his dog to stop barking during the shows. It's one thing we love about him. But I will say, we've had this guy on Forward Progress before, and we almost had to abolish the channel after the last time we had this guy on because it was pre-Thanksgiving. He was in his bed making picks. I think he forgot that he even had to do a hit. Called in, it was pure darkness. And he told the audience, you got to take everything Lions. All the derivatives, you got to do Lions teasers, throw them in the parlay, spread. Needless to say, none of those won. So it's time for redemption for Uncle K, Joey Knish, who's probably on a high right now. Frank Ragnow is coming back.
Frankie, baby, he's back. Nice to see that. Graham Glasgow was the worst center in the league. Out of there. Ragnow's back. No joke. Ragnow when he lived in the city, like 2 streets over from my parents' house. You'd see him at the end of the street. Great guy. And the best center in football he's like big into hunting and fishing too. Probably did the old, got hunting season's over. Time to get back to work, back on the grind. Big time though. Cause that Lions interior O-line, was having some trouble. So that's big. And hopefully we can get a little second half run together here.
All right. Now, before we get to your prop play, I do want to ask you about the Lions, the team you follow the most closely. How are you feeling about Detroit on Thanksgiving tomorrow?
I'm not going to come on here and with a cheese head, but I might have some +3 in pocket. I got to tell you, I know I played our friends at FanDuel had a 49.5. I actually talked about it on Hit the Books Monday, played some under 49.5. I still like the 48.5. I have both offensive lines injured. I don't really see the Lions offense, especially outside of some Jahmyr Gibbs pop. It has not looked right. Has not looked right in a couple of weeks. The defense hasn't really looked right either. I got to be honest with you, a little sweating. But I don't think this Packers offense has really been in sync in a number of Jordan Love, obviously dealing with the shoulder thing. I don't think either of these offenses and a game on the short week, give me the under here. I think it's ugly. I think it's got a chance. So here's a chance for me to look stupid. I think it could go way under. Like if this was like a 2017 type game, I don't think it would surprise me that much. I think both teams will try and run the ball a little bit more than usual with the offensive lines banged up. So yeah, give me the under here just in terms of the overall game. I think that's my favorite play. And I got to tell you, I would probably take the Packers in the points. So hopefully Lions by 1 or 2.
Well, you famously once said, Lions anything, good to any number. And basically today he's saying under anything, good to any number on this one as well. Maybe play
good
a little.
To any 3-0 Lions final exacta. That's my prop. Give me the exacta 3-0 at 1,000 to 1.
Why go there? A game could end 0-0.
That's right. Dodgers should just straight up tie. I think that would. What do we need? Actually, no, we don't want to tie. We got to beat Green Bay. The tie wouldn't help us. Yeah, that's not my prop though. That's just what I like for the game.
Yeah, that was good production by Jacob getting it up there.
Good production by Jacob.
Good production, right?
You don't hear that very often at this company. But yeah, nice job there.
I love how you sewer the producers all the time. Oh God. All right, that's not the prop. But you do got to give a prop.
I know. All right. Let me set the table here. It's Lions Packers, obviously. Lions, Brock Wright, not going to play.
Right.
He's out. So you'd say, oh, maybe we'll go with, a couple of the other guys. We got Anthony Fisker. We got Ross Dwelly on the No, forget those bums. I think you see, and you heard Campbell asked about Elizabeth. I think you see a little bit more Mr. Tesla this week. Give me Isaac Tesla anytime touchdown plus 490 at FanDuel. I think you'll see a little bit more 3-4 wide. No Khalif Raymond either. He's out. Yeah. I think we're going to see between no Brock Wright, no Khalif Raymond. You spent 3 third-round picks to get Tesla. Put him on the fucking field, especially when you're not going to throw the ball to Jameson Williams last week. No catches. Tesla, I'm all over. I got Tesla props. I got over that. But give me anytime touchdown plus 490. I think he gets in the end zone. I like his over. If I want to get greedy here, I got to go with some Tesla overs. I think he gets a good run this week and they go a little bit more dynamic on offense, and they can't protect the passer for shit. So I think a little bit more underneath routes to Tesla outside of just using Amon-Ra. I think he gets a decent amount of usage this week. So give me the Tesla overs, baby.
All right. Isaac Tesla, anytime touchdown. You're pronouncing it like how I pronounce my car, which is a Tesla, but Isaac Tesla, anytime, or slaw. Like it's kind of like a coleslaw.
Yeah,
Tesla, you know?
Yeah,
Slaw.
Tesla.
Slaw.
With the extra A.
That's it, man. Almost best price in market. I see you 5-1, but 490 is really good. And I actually like this one, and I already bet this one, Knish. So I'm just going to go to my spreadsheet. I'm going to mark the L right now.
Yeah. I was gonna say, get that sheet out of there. Because when we're parlayed together, it's over. And you know what? For the people, a Joey Pucks tomorrow. Okay. This has been. I tell you what. I don't know what the opposite. I've said this on the show. But I don't know what the opposite of adverse selection is. But that's what it's like. Positive selection is when I give out hockey plays. You know who gives me my hockey stuff. When I give out hockey plays and this stuff, it wins. We're going, give me Vegas. We never bet Vegas either. Never. Vegas tomorrow. Just shop around. We were in at minus 165-ish. The FanDuel price a little steep. But there's some, you got to shop that one a little bit. But Vegas tomorrow for Joey Pucks. We'll see if we can keep the on-air puck streak rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Joey Puck's such a huge hockey fan that he doesn't realize that game is actually tonight. Vegas and Ottawa.
Is that going tonight?
There is no hockey. There's no NHL action again until later in the week.
Yeah. Well, hey, even better. That's what you don't got to wait to eat it with the cranberry. Just get you a little bit of. Yeah, you're right, Andy. I do need to be on edge. If Alberg ever gets fired.
Well, that's the thing, right? There's no need to have you and Albert together. Because your plays are just the opposite of his, right?
That's true. Right. I watch what he says in the morning, then get down all day on the opposite.
It's true. Never really quite found a mush like that. Reminder, Edgework Overtime. You can catch that regularly Tuesdays and Thursdays over on Hammer HQ YouTube. That's at noon Eastern time with Jason Cooper. Knish, happy Thanksgiving, man. All the best. I'd wish the Lions luck, but I mean, you've given yourself a free roll already here, right? Lions fan, bet the Packers. Your victory lapping no matter what.
I was thinking a few years. I only been awake for 30 seconds. That's probably why. But this is how to do it, babe. This is how you do it in the pros. You free roll with some Packers, and if the Lions roll, then I can tap dance and celebrate anyway.
Joey Knish, content creator, knows how to get it done.
Happy
Thanksgiving, Joey.
Happy Thanksgiving. Wish I could be working on Thanksgiving, unlike some other countries. Enjoy the day, my friend.
All right. Uncle K, Joey Knish. Man, it's a lot of energy. Talking to that guy for 10 minutes is like I ran an entire marathon at this point. Hard to keep up. Tough act to follow for our next, I was going to say contestant. It's definitely not a contestant. It's just the next person picking on the show here. You know him very regularly here on Forward Progress. He's part of Thursday Best Bets with me. Coming in live from Germany, where it's got to be pretty late at night. Surprised you're not in bed yet, Suuma.
Yeah, I set an alarm and got out of bed just for you, Rob. So, yeah. Honestly, I think this is absolutely the best Thanksgiving slate since you started the Hammer. And I would also say the best Thanksgiving slate that I could personally remember, because there were some nice matchups over the years, but we always had these quarterback injuries. And this Thursday with Burrow coming back, I think this has to be the best slate I can personally remember.
I would have to agree with you, Suuma. Sorry, you can just change your mic. I think you're on your AirPods instead of the other ones.
Okay.
But totally agree with you, Suuma. I mean, I'm very much looking forward to these games tomorrow. I have a very, I'll call it a dark past when it comes to Thanksgiving, because I watch my Cowboys lose very regularly, and it completely ruins my mood on these types of days. And they're underdogs again, so I'm hoping they're going to get the job done. But yeah, it's looking like a really good slate. And for survivor purposes, you know, there's some pools out there where you have to pick this type of slate now. Some people have used Baltimore from earlier on in the year. They're struggling to pick some teams. You know, that I think that makes things even more chaotic this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Tough act to follow with Knish. He is perfect on forward progress in his career. Perfect fade, I should say, but still perfect regardless. You don't want to be in like the middle. Nobody wants to be 50% accuracy. That sucks. People can't tail you. They can't fade you. But this is your opportunity, Suuma, to shine. The people want to invest. They want to throw some dollars down. They might want to put it in their pass the leg parlay with their buddies. What do you like for Thanksgiving and why?
Yeah, so Moretto told me it doesn't matter whether it's a side or prop. So I came up with both. I will start with a prop, and that is Christian Watson over 3.5 receptions plus 100 at FanDuel. I think Watson right now is the clear-cut absolute best receiving threat on this Packers offense. He's also easing much more into the game right now after his injury. He had, I think, 5 targets 2 weeks ago, 7 targets last week. I think that you can throw the ball on the secondary that wants to play aggressive man coverage very often. So I think Christian Watson will probably get a decent share of targets in this game. And I think it's probably a decent bet to get him over 3.5 receptions tomorrow night.
So Christian Watson over 3.5 plus 100. A couple things of note there as well. One, we still don't know if Matthew Golden will be in or not. Another depth receiver, Savion Williams, is out. I mean, it's like 10 snaps a game, but it's just more opportunities for Watson to be on the field there. So Suuma is going with Christian Watson. And you said you also wanted to give out a side or a total play as well?
Yeah, I don't want to mush your favorite team, but I'm going with the Cowboys. I have to plus 3.5. I think minus 120. It was at FanDuel before I was coming on the show. Honestly, I might look like a complete fool after tomorrow because I want to talk about the Cowboys defense. And if the Chiefs drop 35 points tomorrow, I might kind of look stupid. But I was just going through the early season depth charts of the Cowboys, and I just had to laugh about which players got significant playing time at some point this season. I mean, Joy Toya, Shamar James, Trickwise Bridges, Elijah Clark, special teams age Elijah Clark after last week, safety Jonia Thomas. I mean, these are guys that will likely, I think some of them will likely never start a game again in the NFL, and they got significant playing time. And when we look at the current iteration of the Cowboys defense, I just cannot say how much better they look on paper. They are not an elite top 8 defense, but I think going from what was probably rock bottom towards average-ish is a huge jump. Kenneth Murray, one of the worst starting linebackers in the game. Mm-hmm. He has his snaps significantly decreased over the past 2 weeks from like 60 to like 20, 25-ish. Malik Hooker is back. Shaban Revel, we don't know whether he's going to be good, but he's likely going to be an upgrade over Trickwise Bridges, who got significant playing time. So I think they actually have quite a decent defensive line. Quinton Williams now. Izzy Ricky, Clowney is decent. So I really think that the combination of the Cowboys offense, and I think George talked about it, or was it Austin, that you probably have like 2 top 8-ish receivers in the league right now. Decent tight end. Dak has been phenomenal, also been very good under pressure, and combine that with a defense that can actually not get run all over, can actually get some pressure, can actually play some coverage. I think it really shapes up for a nice little end of season run. And Chiefs without Trey Smith, I think Quinton Williams might have a big game, and I'm just struggling to see, for as much as I like the Chiefs, that they can really win by margin against this Cowboys offense, combining that the defense has been much better. So yeah, I like a lot about the Cowboys.
All right, Suuma going with Christian Watson over receptions and the Dallas Cowboys. Suuma, thank you for staying up for this one. I know it's late for you. I will chat with you tomorrow and enjoy the games.
Yes, have fun, guys.
All right, that's Suuma, live from Dusseldorf, somewhere around there. I actually think he's closest to Dortmund. He tells me all the time, I never remember. I just go with Dusseldorf every time because I'm an idiot and think I'm being funny. Speaking of people who think that they're funny, Chris Dierkes, Flup No Lied. One-time contest winner, head of trading at Novig. How are you, my man?
Good. Thanks for having me on. Excited to be here. Before you try to say I'm from New York, I'm not right now. I'm visiting my family. I'm up in like their cellar in Virginia.
I was gonna say, is this like your childhood bedroom right now?
Yeah,
that you're in?
this is actually not my childhood bedroom. This is my fiance's childhood bedroom. So this is I'm in a meeting right now. I tried to explain that I'm giving degenerate bets out, but that didn't go over well. So I'm in a meeting.
Not something you want to bring up at the Thanksgiving table with your in-laws, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back in 10. Just got to throw out some bets on YouTube.
Exactly. I do have bets. This is, everyone says I'm a top-down bettor, which is true, but this is a Chris originated bet, so I wouldn't tail these. I would not recommend it. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. I was actually going to try to predict what you were going to give out. But now that I know it's your own origination and handicapping, I'm lost. I've never seen you handicap a game before.
Well, I asked Moretto, could I do player props? He said yes, and I'm okay. Player props, I do originate some because I think they're pretty soft. This is a similar angle. I haven't watched any of the previous, so if someone already gave it, I apologize. Lamar Jackson under 26.5 rush yards, -114. Mm-hmm. Lamar is clearly hurt. You see it. I mean, ever since he's back from injury, his yardage has gone down. He's clearly playing injured, and I think I wanted to, in a weird way, this is a fade against Burrow, in my opinion, because I don't think that Burrow's going to be very good. I want to play like Ravens -7. It's just not a good price, and I don't think this is the best way to describe it. But I think any combination of Lamar under or Derrick Henry over either rush yards or rush attempts is good here, because I think Burrow isn't going to be good on his first game back. Ravens are going to come out to a big lead and just pound Derrick Henry off that awful Bengals defense all day. I mean, I was just looking it up. Their EPA per play is by far worse in the league, and they're third worst in both drop back and rush EPA per play. So they'll have no issues running all over them and throwing all over them. And I just don't think they're going to need to risk to run Lamar in any like designed runs when he's clearly injured versus a team they should be able to gash through Henry.
Yeah, and on top of that, he has a toe injury, which he was DNP early in the week. It's a short week as well. Yep. I actually like this look. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's an angle that I've played for a little bit, not just with Lamar Jackson, but quarterbacks who use their legs coming back from injury. I like that. That's some origination at its finest.
I was looking up too. Unfortunately, FanDuel does it right, but I will say there are some books out there that have Derrick Henry over and Lamar under as anti-correlated, which I think they're clearly correlated. So if you can find a place that does that, I would recommend that. But playing in them either Derrick Henry over or Lamar under, I think is good. Oh my God, it already moved to 25.5.
Yeah, the people that watch this live bet our stuff live. I mean, there's no better like pub I can give to the shows that we do here on Forward Progress or Hit the Books than the fact that they move in real time. Like people are willing to bet the opinions, even your origination Flup. People are willing to bet those opinions.
And look, guys, I'm not trying to lie to you. Like, I wouldn't I'm probably break even at best, maybe a slight winner in my originated stuff. Maybe you got to pick and choose. Like the stuff I give main lines, I wouldn't tail. The player props, maybe I would, but we'll see what would you guess? What did you guess that my play was going to be? I bet I couldn't figure it out.
I thought that you were going to give the Friday game and take Jalen Hurts over 27.5 pass attempts at -102.
Let me check this theme there.
I don't know if it's your style of betting, but
yes. Oh yes, yeah, I would have loved that one. Yes,
right.
Yes.
Anything pass attempts or completions for Jalen Hurts is where I thought you were going to go. That's what I thought was going to happen.
I used to. I don't do it so much later in the season, but earlier in the season, I go through, and every time the lines open, I just pick all the stuff that is late to steam and then play it in like a nice round robin or something like that. And this would have made it on if this was earlier in the week. I would have done, or earlier in the season, I would have done it for sure.
I appreciate you going away from your roots. I think at some point when you get reverse swept for 3 straight weeks, you got to be like, you know what? I'm going to try
exactly.
something else, right?
Exactly.
Try something else. Happy Thanksgiving, Flup. Enjoy it, man.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Flup no lie to everyone. Follow him on Twitter. He's a great guy. I do not stand for anyone who rips. You rip Flup, I'm gonna get in your face. That's just the way it works. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. All right, from one guy who doesn't know ball to one guy who does. It's been a staple here for many years on Forward Progress. Founder of CleveAnalytics.com, TA, stepping up and in. TA, how are things?
What's up? I like how you defend Flup, but nobody attacks Flup more in our group chat than you do. So I appreciate that. It's just like it's like a brother, right? You can attack him, but you can't have anybody else do it.
Yeah, so I don't think about it like a brother, but I think about it like the village idiot, you know, where everyone in the village is allowed to roast him. But if someone outside the village comes in and starts picking on him, then everyone draws the line. That's how I think of Flup.
No, that's fair. No, Flup's a good guy, but yeah, he's I think he's like 0 for his last 18 on the Tuesday show, so he needs to turn it around at some point.
It's been a rough go for him for sure. You traveling for the holidays? You having people over to your place? What are you doing there?
You're just having some people over. Actually, I just put a nice piece of salmon in the oven, so it'll be done probably when this is done. It's a nice pre-Thanksgiving meal for me. My wife's vegan, so I'm the only one who's going to be eating fish tonight. But yeah, she's having her family over tomorrow, so we'll be entertaining and watching a lot of football. So should be a good day.
I got to tell you, TA, if you offered me the option of having a nice big piece of salmon versus some turkey on Thanksgiving, I'm probably taking the salmon, and I'm not vegan. That's just my opinion on turkey.
So I'm indifferent on turkey. I like it when you mix it with, obviously, with all the good sides, and douse it with gravy. But this year we were trying a little something different. I got some. I live on a golf course, and there's a nice restaurant down the street at the golf course, the clubhouse, and so they make good short rib. So I picked up, they do some catering for Thanksgiving. So I picked up some short rib tonight. So we're going to reheat it in the morning along with the turkey. So have a nice combination. So it's not just turkey to choose from.
My mind is kind of racing now because as soon as you said that you live on a golf course, every single time I've ever teed off on a golf course where there's houses around, I ask myself, why would anyone want to do this to themselves? Are you in any sort of range of like sprays off the tee going into the backyard?
No. So when I say on a golf course, I'm not actually, it's not like my backyard is on a tee box. It's inland, I guess, from the course itself. So you would have to, I've had a few balls come my way, but it would literally have to be, you'd have to just completely slice it a good, 200 plus yards over a whole set of houses onto a street that bounces into our driveway. That's the only way it would get to our front yard. Like I said, there's only been a couple that have reached, so I'm out of danger. But I agree. We did look initially at a couple really nice houses that were like literally like right off of the tee box, and people would be hanging out in our yard looking for balls. I wanted no part of that. So we decided if we're going to buy a house on this property, it would have to be, far away from anyone in our neighborhood. So it worked out well.
Yeah, it reminds me of an old friend who ended up buying on a golf course, and I was at his place, and he's just like, Rob, man, nobody should ever be able to possibly hit it into my yard. Like there should be no chance that someone off the tee can put it here, yet I get balls hitting my house on a regular basis. And I've always thought about that. Just very, very, very random thought here. But TA, I don't think people came to listen to us talk about houses on golf courses. They came for a play. They want to win some money, and I'm putting some pressure on you to win them some money. What do you like? Could be Thanksgiving Day, Black Friday, wherever you want to go. Let the people know what you like and why.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say my favorite play was Packers +3, but that was gone Monday morning. So I'll go to the prop market in the Dallas-Kansas City game and take Jake Ferguson over, I think at FanDuel's 33.5 yards, -114 right now. And this is really, he's pretty consistent from a target share basis, but I like this matchup a lot against Kansas City, mainly because they play a significant amount of too high safety looks, which leaves the middle of the field pretty open. They play that at a top 5 rate. And Ferguson has really excelled against these middle of the field open coverages. He's actually number 1 on the Cowboys. You'd be surprised, even more than CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens in target share against too high safety looks. And, against a couple of other defenses that play at a high rate, like Kansas City, I think it's Arizona and the Jets. He cleared this number very easily. I think he had 50 yards in one of the games, 2 touchdowns, and another 40 plus yards in another. So, this is something where I think the way that CeeDee Lamb and especially George Pickens have been producing, that they're going to see a little extra emphasis from the Kansas City defense. I think Spag's going to try to take that away and leave the middle of the field a little bit more open. And the thing I like too about Ferguson, it's not just a target share; he's getting first read shares. So these aren't just like Dak's third or fourth options on a progression. He's actually tied with Lamb and Pickens on first read shares when it comes to these 2 high safety looks. So I just think from a matchup perspective, it's a good number. He's averaging and his median are right around 40 each. So at 33.5, I think you got plenty of runway here for the over. And obviously in a game with a total in the low 50s, indoors should be a high scoring environment, and obviously a lot of passing and increased looks. So that is my look for Thanksgiving is on Ferguson.
All right, Jake Ferguson over for TA. I also like that look as well. And listen, you can go on a best bet show and you can win your triple hammer. You might even sweep the card, but there's no greater honor on Forward Progress than having Xshesh in the chat say, "Great analysis, I will tail," which is exactly what he said right now, TA.
I'm only here for Xshesh's approval because the guy, he knows ball. Let's be honest. So I appreciate that from him.
All right, TA, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Enjoy the salmon tonight, and hopefully you get some winners tomorrow.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right, ClevTA, everyone. You can check out his stuff, cleveanalytics.com. Pretty thorough when it comes to the NFL with all the stuff he puts out there. And we go from someone pretty thorough to someone who's absolutely not very thorough when it comes to the NFL. You know him very regularly here. You see him on the live watch-alongs with me. See him on Hammer HQ, Hammer Daily, noon Eastern time, Monday to Friday. Takes by Jason Cooper. How are things?
Good. I'm excited to be on. I usually produce these shows. I asked Moretto, since I'm not producing this, can I get on? He said yes, and I came ready to fire.
No, nice. I was really wondering how you finagled your way into this show. I was like, there's no way they asked Jason. So now you've cleared the air.
No. I texted Moretto. I said, hey, I see we're doing the extravaganza. I said, listen, I don't really want to go on, but if there's space, I don't mind. If we need an extra guy, I don't mind. But really, wanted to sneak my way in here. I actually have 3 plays and 2 bonus plays for the chat.
You've gone above and beyond for this.
Above and beyond for the chat. Anything.
I wish you would do this with the rest of the stuff you do for us at the Hammer, but for 3 plays.
Whoa! I would say the Hammer Daily. I go above and beyond. I ate a spicy chip.
That was impressive. Not many people would do that. It's very challenging to do, especially live. Live.
I closed that shit out too. Excuse my language, but yeah.
Yep. I will give you credit for that because I've done the one chip before, and you were kind of getting the hiccups a little bit as well. It's really hard. It's really hard, but that was. And then you did the watch along at night. I will give you credit for that one day.
Okay,
that one day,
I'll take that.
You did a really good job. The mustache looks way worse on the camera than it does in person. I don't know.
I need to. Honestly, it's getting a little long now. I think I need to shave it a little bit, but
it's Movember. No, you're doing this for charity, right?
I've donated. I'm not running my own because I don't think anyone cares enough about me to donate for me. I have some friends who are doing it. Sent them $50. So yeah.
I just tried to tee you up to be like a nice guy. I was trying to put one on the platter for you, and you could be like, "Of course, I'm doing it for." I'm a very charitable guy, but you just shut that down real quick.
Listen, if Hitman's wife's friend is watching, then yes, I am doing it for November. But if not, this is like this is like inside jokes. If you're not watching our watch along, you don't get this stuff, but you should be, first of all. Anyways.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you don't watch the watch alongs, I don't want to know you at this point or another. We have a very, very good crew there. They are really fun. And myself and Jason will be on Friday afternoon, Black Friday. Might even get treated with Jeff Feinberg in studio for that one as well. We'll see. We'll see. Is there going to be a Caleb Williams prop today?
No.
Okay,
I stuck only
we're already off to a great start. You stuck only. Right. Are you going one from each game?
One from each game, and I have 2 bonus ones as well. The 2 bonus ones are going to lose, but if they win, then count them for my record, please.
Yeah, if the bonus ones win, we'll cut the clip. Actually, we do the opposite here at the Hammer. If they lose, we'll cut the clip. We'll call you an idiot on Twitter. If they win, we won't say anything. That's usually the way we go about things.
Well, actually, like my first one is 22-1. So let's add that to the bonus one as well. So
okay.
If we're ready to go, let's start with the first game.
Go for it.
All right, Packers at Lions. I'm taking Goff, 20-1, anytime touchdown score. Pretty simple stuff here. Divisional game, tight spread. We have 2 outs for it, a tush push, him running it in. I guess 3 outs, him running in, which is probably impossible, or a design play to Jared Goff, which we've seen earlier in the season, although it didn't really count because I think there was an alignment issue. Flag happened on the play. Something happened there. So tight game, divisional game, important game. I could see Dan Campbell have the stones to pull out some trickery here and give the ball to Jared Goff on the goal line. So Goff, 20-1, anytime touchdown, a little bit of fun to start your day.
Yeah, I like those looks with the Lions offense because Dan Campbell is that type of guy who likes to reward certain types of players. Unfortunately, it's going to be Penei Sewell that gets the trick play per usual on in a big game.
I was looking. I don't see offensive linemen to score on Thanksgiving, so I couldn't give it out. I didn't ask. I should have asked earlier in the day if FanDuel could put it up for us because I believe we had it last year at like 9-ish-1, which.
You can ask right now. They're the head trader with the V for Vendetta mask, the guy that I always talk to. He's probably watching right now.
Listen, you could put that up at any number, and I'm just gonna bet it just because. Like it's like I just want to say that I got an anytime touchdown score on a offensive lineman. So yeah, Goff 20-1, rated out of 10. Rob, what are your thoughts?
I don't hate it.
Okay,
I'm not. I've been telling people this. Like, I got to fix the sim I usually run for the touchdown scores. It's still broken. I'm going to try to do it tonight so I can get everything out for tomorrow. But I don't hate the look. I like the idea of the Lions leaning into some trickery.
Yeah, that was where I was going with this. Trying to figure it out with both tight end Laporta and Brock right here. I was figuring out where to go.
Yep,
so I landed on Jared Goff. All right, next game: Kansas City Chiefs, Dallas Cowboys. Rob, I got to give you credit. Your Cowboys have great defense. I think Suuma was talking about it a little bit earlier, but I think the play I'm going to be looking at is Patrick Mahomes over 21.5 rushing yards, -114. Trey Smith is out. It's a bad matchup for this O-line. Like I said before, and Suuma said before, this front seven is actually scary, I think, from the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if it's scary, but you know what? Like, a lot better than it was earlier in the season. I don't see how the Chiefs are going to get early down success. If they try and run the football, it's going to be a real bad struggle for them. I could see Patrick Mahomes ejecting out of the pocket, sprinting down the field like he normally does. And basically from here on out, these Kansas City Chiefs games are almost playoff games. And we've seen them be willing to run the football in these games, not be afraid to kind of eject from the pocket and run. And then my bonus play for this game is Mahomes anytime touchdown, +420. Like I said before, they'll struggle running the football. They like to use Kareem Hunt on the goal line. This run defense up the middle is very, very strong for the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe we get some trickery. Couldn't land on anyone. I was looking at Robert Tonyan. He's like +700 score touchdown. No, thank you. Give me Mahomes anytime touchdown, +430, excuse me, and Mahomes over 21.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you love +420, you're going to love +430 at this point as well.
It looks like all the plays are moving in the right direction as the show goes on, and then when I come on, they move the other way.
They move the other way. Yeah, that's what, also, like Exesh does agree with you in the chat. Loves the bet. Eberflus has no idea what a spy is. I can tell you as a Cowboys fan, I also like the look for Mahomes in the rushing game as well. 2 for 2 in agreement. Although if they lose, I'm not going to have agreed with them. Obviously, of course, for obvious reasons.
Of course, I think you mean agreeance, but it's okay. We will move on to the. Sorry, I'm kind of playing host right now. I don't want to play host. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I just don't want to.
After an hour of this, plus I got like the Knish 10 minutes. It really feels like you're on for an hour. And just the energy is. So it's a lot for me. I'm going to be a 39-year-old guy soon. I can't live up to, you young stallions,
Yeah. I see what people mean when they say mute in the chat whenever I speak on the watch long. That's how I feel whenever Knish is on the Forward Progress shows. Listen, hit the books. He's really good. But like the Forward Progress show, like, no, thank you. All right. Last game. Bengals, Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
The play I'm going with is I got to make sure I didn't check before I went live if it's still available.
If you steal my play, because I have a play in this game, and if you steal my play, I'm going to be really upset.
Okay, wait. I'm going to type it in the chat.
In the private chat.
Yes. You tell me if I stole it.
No, you're good with that. You're good with that.
All right. That scares me the way you said that. All right. Anyways, I'm going to go with Isaiah Likely, longest reception, over 13.5 receiving yard. Or sorry, over longest reception, 13.5, -104 at FanDuel. Simply enough, this Bengals defense stinks. They suck against tight ends. In five games, they've given up 100+ yards to team tight ends in total. So Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, one of them is going to get the football. I like Isaiah Likely a lot. I think he's a good player, and I think he creates explosive plays. We can get this on one target. So I like this Isaiah Likely over 13.5 longest reception. And then the bonus. This is a little bit. This is going to lose. This one's crazy.
It's the longest banner we've ever had up on screen, by the way, as well. Just let's go for it. Bonus.
The bonus is Isaiah Likely most receiving yards 40-1. Now, I wanted to play this market because I wanted to fade Jamar Chase and I wanted to fade Joe Burrow. We don't know how healthy he's going to be coming into this game. We don't know Isaiah. Listen, Jamar Chase minus 155 in this market with a Joe Burrow who don't know how healthy he is, toe issues. This could be an absolute disaster. I think this most receiving yard market is pretty live. You could go with Zay Flowers at plus 250. You could go with Andre Yoshivas 13-1. No thanks. Gesicki 20-1. No thanks. Maybe Mark Andrews at 41. But no. I want to go Isaiah Likely 40-1 because I truly think if he can get a couple big plays here and Joe Burrow doesn't look too good, I think there's a shot at this being live. So Isaiah Likely 40-1. It's gonna lose, but if it doesn't, cut this part of the clip.
What is Samaje Perine's price in that market?
He doesn't exist in that market, unfortunately. So
I was looking for 100-1 or more because when Joe Burrow has to resort to checking down when they're losing, 31-3 over and over and over, maybe some alt overs on Perine. I'll talk myself into that.
I was looking at alt overs on Isaiah Likely, but I just think that this is more fun. 40-1. Let's have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm. If you had to pick one of those to start the pass the leg parlay with your buddies, which one do you pick? Which one are you picking?
Obviously the most receiving yard, 40-1, just because I like to pick the craziest thing. And
you want to bankrupt our sponsor. Very nice of you.
I don't know if that's true. For example, I did one of these earlier in the season just with my friends, built a parlay. I threw in the Jeremy Rucker at anytime touchdown at 19-1 and it won, and everyone made fun of me, but then I looked like the freaking genius. It's a great free roll with your friends.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you get that one from?
From you.
I know. I just wanted you to give attribution.
Not to my, listen, I'm not selling it.
I don't own the play. I don't own it, but if you took it from someone else and that was the reason, and you bet it that way, you should provide attribution.
If I'm being honest, I'm just super insecure about how dumb I am. So I like to take plays and pawn them off as my own. So that's the biggest thing for me.
There we go. He said it. We're just going to cut that clip. Should never say stuff like that because it could be taken and used against you forever. And now
I'm pretty sure I've said worse on the watch.
There's definitely been a lot worse. There's definitely been a lot worse. Takes by Jay, everyone. You can catch me with Jason in studio on Friday, 2:45 Eastern time. We're going live. G-Stack's going to be there. Jeff Feinberg's going to be there. And of course, tomorrow night, there's a live watch along happening as well, but we're not included in that. But if you do want to watch alongside G-Stack and Moretto, Ravens and Bengals, you can do that here on Forward Progress as well.
One thing before I head out, go to the Hammer Daily video today on the Hammer HQ. Click the like button because if we get to 100 likes on that video and the Friday video, Moretto said he would eat a spicy chip. So I'm going to eat one. Somebody's going to eat one, and Moretto's going to eat one. We need 100 likes on both those videos separately before next Monday. So go and do that.
Hammer Daily from today.
Yes.
Okay. Do that.
All right.
We'll link it in the chat as well for people who can go over there and like it. Although stick around and watch too. Don't leave right away. That's going to kill us in the algo. It's going to kill it. Stick around and watch. All right, Jake. Take care, man.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy it.
Well, cut him off there. Takes by Jay, Jason Cooper. I think he was saying enjoy your Thanksgiving, but he could have really been saying anything because he is a scumbag. He is the type of guy that would shit on U.S. Thanksgiving. We're not letting him back in here now. I see him behind the scenes. He really wants to come back in. He's just doing thumbs up. All right. Sunday reset. My partner in crime, Clive Bixby, stepping up and in. You are bad in cleanup tonight, Clive.
Let's go.
Yep. How are things?
Good. This is, my second Hammer appearance of the day. I love it.
You made it out to golf in between?
I did not. Just stayed indoors working on the indoor little range situation that I'm kind of building out.
Oh, you're building out a little simulator for yourself?
I am. Yeah.
Fuck. What a dream.
Oh, it's so good. It is so good.
My wife kiboshed that one for us.
Well, you got the shed though,
Yeah, no, I got lots of options. I have my garage is enormous. I could put one in there, but she's like, we need the space for buildings. I'm like, what are we building? It's like, we got to store the winter tire. I'm like, well, we store them in the shed. I got millions of options, but she just doesn't want to see me play more golf, man. The winter is her time to be like, okay, no golf for Rob. And if I had one, I would be addicted to it. I wouldn't do anything else. So
Yeah, it's such a good investment, especially because I suck at golf, and
Mhm.
getting that swing even somewhat good at the end of the fall, and then trying to start up again in March and April, it's like awful.
I practiced a lot through the winter last year. Then I showed up to the courses in March, started playing, and I'm like, well, that practice didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, such is life. Such is life. Are you staying in town for Thanksgiving, or are you heading out?
Yeah, I'll be close. I'll be within 20, 25 minutes in New Jersey. I live a lot closer now to where I grew up, so it's an easy drive.
Yeah, lots of people I know in New Jersey. Lots of people.
Yeah.
Some people refuse to come on tonight,
Really?
like Hitman.
Is he golfing? Is that what it is? Did he go
I don't know
golf?
what. I think he said he has people in town, and he was taking them out to golf and dinner or something. I did a collab with Hitman for my play. We did a collab play. We gotta embrace the modern day. Everyone's collabing online. Why aren't we collabing on plays?
Yeah, we have to. I mean, how else are we going to survive?
I think we collab though, technically every Sunday night.
We do.
We just
Almost.
don't call it a collab.
No. It's always interesting when we disagree, and you may disagree with my play here that I'm about to give out.
All right. Well, you teed it up for yourself, so let's go for it.
Well, there's two things. Do we want a prop and a play? I mean, because we kind of did talk through the under in KC Dallas, which it hasn't moved, but I still like it. So we can give that out, but I do have a prop.
All right. The floor is yours. Jason came on. The instruction was one play. Jason came on. He gave like 69 while he was on.
Such infomercial vibes. Just wait. There's more.
Bingo. But you know what? Some people just really like plays. So floor is yours. You can go with whatever you want.
All right. So here we go. Detroit Packers. We're going to go with Jared Goff under passing yards. I think the most recent FanDuel number I have seen was 238.5.
Correct.
So that's going to be my play. A couple of reasons for it. One, and this kind of sucks. I was listening to Knish earlier, and he thought this game could go, severely under, and I kind of agree with him, which makes me want to just shoot myself. But I think from a pass rush perspective and the way that the defenses match up, Jared Goff, very low depth of target. Green Bay is I think the best in the league defensively at yards after catch prevention. They do generate a good amount of pass rush without even having blitz. I just don't think this is the greatest matchup for Goff. I get that it's indoors, but I really like this play.
All right. Jared Goff for Clive under 238.5. That is not going to excite Ekshesh in the chat. It is an indoor game with the Lions.
I know.
You can only play overs in those spots. It's a tough one. You're supposed to endear yourself to our followers, to the nails.
Well, I've heard polarization is good too. It's either to be hated or loved. Like in the middle is kind of
It's true. Shouldn't toe the line ever.
No.
Really shouldn't.
And bonus on Friday, if anybody really still likes the Bears team total under, I'm still loving that. And I know Jason does not.
Well, Jason is he's like number one. He's the captain of the Caleb Williams fan club. So
yeah.
Of course he's not going to like that. Clive, happy Thanksgiving to you. And enjoy it, man. And hopefully get some winners on the card tomorrow.
Yeah, great day of football coming tomorrow. I'm pumped.
Absolutely. Clive Bixby, everyone. All right. So that ends with me. And I wasn't joking about a collab with Hitman. I did collab with him a little bit today as we were talking through the card for tomorrow. And I'll give out one play. It's going to come from the Ravens-Bengals game, and it's going to be a receiving yardage prop. And a lot of the points on, or the handicap has already been made over the course of the last 80 minutes on this show. But I talked about it with G-Stack earlier. He referenced yards per game. I'm going to just reference total yards. But the Bengals have given up 962 yards to opposing tight ends this year. 962. The next worst in the league is Carolina at 799. There's a 163-yard difference between the Bengals and everyone else. Baltimore uses a ton of 12 personnel. I am playing Mark Andrews over 37.5 receiving yards, minus 114 at FanDuel. This is good. Up to 40.5 is what we would play it to. It is a collab with Hitman. He sees a lot of offensive snaps. This is a way to methodically move downfield against the Bengals that every team has consistently employed. You have now 3 or more targets in 10 straight games for Mark Andrews. He's going to consistently get looks here in this one. Just too low of a number. Hitman, Pizzola collab. Remember, if it wins, you can credit me on Twitter. If it loses, send a message to Hitman at Hitman428. Let him know he's a scumbag for including this as part of the prop show today. I thank every single one of you who watched today. Almost 1,800 watched across all platforms. To those that were in the YouTube chat for the entirety of the show, appreciate you. Thank you very much. To those who watched on X, I also appreciate you as well. Just want to wish everyone out there in the United States a happy Thanksgiving. It's a great holiday. Spend time with your family. Enjoy it. Treasure the moments, right? Having some football on in the background, having a few pops, some beers, whatever. It's a great day to spend with the family and enjoy the games. Bet within your limits tomorrow, please. Cannot preach that enough. There's a lot going on. It's one of the toughest days a year in the way that the schedule is, where if you lose at 1 o'clock, you may double down at 4 and then double down late and then do that on Friday. Don't bet like that. Bet within your limits. All right. Don't chase losses, anything like that. It's supposed to be a day of fun and football and family. I hope everyone enjoys it out there. So happy Thanksgiving to all of our American followers. For myself, all of our guests tonight, G-Stack, George, Austin Mock, and the early going. This has been the NFL Thanksgiving Extravaganza right here on Forward Progress, presented by FanDuel. Peace out, everyone. We'll catch you for the watch-alongs later on this week. Enjoy it.